the great journalist of Nigeria, Dr. Kemi Omololu, on Thursday, October 10th, 2019, it's World Mental Health Day once again. Last year I spoke about post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. I'm a PTSD recovery patient and hopefully I'll be a PTSD survivor soon. Post-traumatic stress disorder is a flashback of a traumatic event. I had quite a few when I was in Port Harcourt prison on SARS watching executions 5 times a day. Many of you don't understand PTSD. You make it look like it's a joke. You call me names over it. Stop using mental health conditions as an abusive word. Stop telling people your medicine has run out, go and get your medicine. You're a Yaba left patient. If you don't like my views, don't use a mental health to abuse somebody because you can be a PTSD patient. PTSD is not a mental illness, it's a mental disorder because trauma in itself is a human experience. Everybody has a level of trauma they may have experienced or somebody they know. If you're hit by a car today and you treat it for a year, rehabilitation and everything that goes with it, you may never want to enter a car again. This is how trauma is. PTSD is just one mental condition. World Mental Health Day, I'm going to reflect on what's going on with mental health in Nigeria. A lot of people suffer anxiety and don't even know it. What is anxiety? There are many generalized anxiety disorders. I'm a pharmacist, journalist, and a PR specialist, and I actually started my journalism career in medical news. Wellness Nigeria, my new brand, will tackle these things on Thursday, the 10th of October 2019. So follow me at Kemi Omololu on Facebook and Instagram. Now, anxiety disorders could be very many. The average person is sweating in the palms, they're nervous, their heart is beating fast like a python is right behind them, or a lion is chasing them around the room. What causes anxiety? Several things. There is also OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. Do you find that if people want to shake you, you're going to wash your hands right after because you don't trust their hands being clean, that they may transmit a germ? Or do you go to the mall, park your car outside, lock it, and go inside the mall and come back out within 2 minutes to check to make sure that door is locked, and then go back in the mall, and then come back again to check the door? Repetitive behaviors like that is anxiety. That part is actually OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. Some people have boyfriends or girlfriends and they must call them 5 times a day, 10 times a day. They just feel a lot of anxiety. So it's very important that you know what anxiety is. Depression. Depression looks like a word. I'm depressed, I'm sad. It starts like that. Sadness that changes your habits. You don't go to school anymore. You don't go to work. You don't eat, you don't watch TV, and next thing you know, you've committed suicide. When depression is untreated, it can lead to suicide. It's very important to know to get treated early. A lot of people are going to churches to get deliverance. They're going to churches to seek pastors for mental health when they should be seeing psychiatrists, psychotherapists, psychologists. Yeah, it's a medical thing. It's not a religious thing. So I've talked about anxiety, depression. I've talked about PTSD, and now schizophrenia. It gets complicated. People who are average people you meet on the streets every day, but when they get into their houses, or even when they're right there on the street, they can hear things. They can hear the voice of their mother telling them to get a knife and stab their father. In the middle of the night, they wake up in their sleep, grab a knife, and go towards their father's room. These things have happened, and people have died. And what happened when they got to the hospital or to the jail or to the prison clinic? I heard my mother's voice telling me to do it. Have you been sleeping in the bed at night and you heard them call your name? Or somebody was calling you? Well, in Nigeria, traditions and all the voodoo, juju, jazz, they say when they call your name in the sleep, don't ever answer that somebody is doing juju to you. We've heard it before, but guess what? It is actually a mental health issue. When you start, dreaming and you're hearing your name being called or somebody called your name, it is a mental health issue. It is very important because those are early signs of schizophrenia, paranoid schizophrenia. Oh my God, somebody's coming. The DSS. A Yahoo boy might be in their hotel and they're like, oh my God, the DSS. They're following me. They're out there. That guy there, he's in the DSS, but he has an unmarked car. Paranoid schizophrenia, the fear of something that's possibly not even happening. There's a lot of mental health illnesses. I'm a clinical pharmacist, a journalist, and a PR specialist. Okay, I know these things. I've treated many people in America when I was practicing pharmacy there. Many of us know one person or even ourselves that suffer these things. So join me all day on Thursday, October 10th, 2019 for World Mental Health Day. On Twitter at HN in Africa, I will also be tweeting some things, but I'm going to do live videos on Facebook and Instagram and also YouTube. Mental health is very important. Our government is not investing in it. Even Alhaji Dangote said he didn't know the state of healthcare until Bill Gates told him. Now, you guys know that Bill Gates gives us a lot of money every year in USAID for medical stuff, health stuff. And what do we have here? Everybody needs to know. And of course, finally, the man that you call the weary. It could be a woman in your city. Weary. What's a weary? The one that's naked, dirty from top to toe, hair all tied together, all knotted together, smelly. These people have mental illness. In America, many of them are homeless. They actually take them into shelters, clean them, wash them, treat them, and put them back into society. Are we putting wearies back to society in Nigeria? No. We're not even taking them off the streets to get to a mental home. What we do is we'll drive past them, we'll be scared of them, and we'll even laugh at them. And the kind of society we are in Nigeria, we've even seen people dressed up like mad women and men. People dress up like weary, and there's nothing wrong with them because they're only using it as a way to do other bad things. We've seen one man dressed as a weary who had a bag full of human tongues during political season. We've seen it all. But the real people that need the mental health treatment are the ones that we need to help the most. The ordinary man like you and me to have some. Mine's a mental disorder, PTSD. I can't sleep at night. I haven't shared a lot with you. There's a lot of things I can't do. I cannot sleep at night. If I go to bed at 9 o'clock, I'll wake up at 3. It's nightmares. I see blood. I see blood shooting, bullets at SARS. I hear those things. And those things are traumatic. And it flashes back. I might sleep well on Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I might have sleep problems. You can't take pills forever for sleeping. Some are addictive, some just don't work. Psychotherapy is used to treat PTSD. Psychotherapy, talk therapy. You're just sitting down there in front of a psychotherapist and talking to them. How much is that? 50,000 naira per session or 20,000 per hour. It is expensive. I've had fundraisers. People have helped. You run out of money and you continue to pray on it. Prayers are good, but you need to see a mental health professional. We urge our government to spend more money on our youth. A lot of our youth are committing suicide, especially in northern Nigeria. One young man complained about his music not being recognized by anybody. He was frustrated. He was posting. He was sending it to music stations. And he said, nobody cares. The next day he took his life. And then the third day, an artist started telling people to submit their music and let's see what you have. A lot of people get very disgruntled. They get, they lose hope and they commit suicide. We've seen enough of that online. But what we want to do now is to end the stigma. The stigma is that thing that makes us shy or embarrassed that we're mental health patients. As a matter of fact, everybody's a mental health patient in Nigeria. Phobias are the big one. The DSM-3, that's the statistical manual that psychiatrists use to diagnose people in the United States. They call it DSM-3, Diagnostic and Statistical Manual. I don't even know if it's 3 or 4 now, but when you look at the DSM-3, the phobias are the fear. Fear runs under anxiety. Fear of what? What are you in fear of? Are you in fear of your life? That doesn't have a phobia. But when you talk about homophobia, the fear of gays and lesbians, Nigeria has an anti-gay law. The whole country is suffering from homophobia. This year, Nigeria got very involved with xenophobia, the fear of foreigners. And what else? Agoraphobia. There's all kinds of phobias. Phobias for pets, phobias for... Some people don't like dogs and cats. And so we have to change the stigma. I'll see you then on 10th of October, 2019. Kemi Olunlaya.